Hi, I'm Bert Gambini. I'm the co-host of Nickel City Chef. This was competition number 16 for season 3, and our secret ingredient was duck eggs from Painted Meadow Farms. And this really gave our competitors, I think, an interesting platform from which to work. Some of the most creative plates that I've seen in 3 seasons were composed during this afternoon's competition.
Hi, I'm Steve Gedra from Bistro Europa, and I was a judge today at Nickel City Chef, Zanghi versus Goetz.
Hello, I'm Adam Goetz, Nickel City Chef and chef owner of Sample Restaurant in Allentown. Well, when we saw that the ingredient was going to be duck eggs, the approach that we took was we wanted to showcase the ingredient as it's on its own, to showcase the richness of the yolk, to showcase the elasticity and the leavening of the egg white, and then we also wanted to be able to use it to make pasta, to do some meringues and to do some curds and some custards, and really wanted to show everybody that there's a lot more than you can do with an egg than just just bake a cake with it or scramble it.
Hello, my name is Zanghi. I'm the head chef at the Delaware on Delaware Avenue. For the first course, we did duck egg hors d'oeuvres. We did a classic deviled eggs with bacon and New York State super sharp cheddar. It was bacon and eggs. We did a Scotch egg with a beer braised bratwurst and a Bavarian sweet hot mustard. And we did a Bloody Mary with a beet pickled duck egg for our first course.
For our first course, we made a progression of the richness of the egg yolk. The first dish was a buttered asparagus with a little sherry vinegar reduction, and then a fried egg yolk, which we left very runny, where when you broke into it and you tasted everything, it was very reminiscent of a classic Béarnaise sauce. After that, we made my version of bacon and eggs, and also a little nod to egg drop soup, where we poached the egg yolks. We blended them up, we put them in a syringe, and we put them in some whole butter, and then topped it off with crispy pork belly and a pig trotter, pig's feet jus, which was the broth for the egg drop soup. And then we ended that course with a traditional Ramos gin fizz, which is a citrus gin drink that's shaken with a tiny bit of cream and a little bit of the raw duck egg to really froth it up. It's a cocktail that you can drink and eat with a spoon.
Our second course was a duck egg baked en cocotte with duck confit, spinach, shiitake, mushrooms, and grilled ciabatta with a chicken liver pate.
For our second course, which was our entree, we did a spring ravioli. We really wanted to show how you could use the egg as a tool and not just as a particular ingredient. We made a very eggy pasta called agnolotti with a raw egg yolk inside. We did a sauce Chiron, which is a hollandaise with roasted tomato. We did a sherry vinaigrette to show the emulsification qualities of the egg yolk. We also did a duck egg white tempura for some Alaskan king crab legs, again, which showed how light everything was and how crispy those duck egg whites can really get in a batter. And we topped it off with a tomato concasse and pea shoot salad and a little roasted tomato.
Our final course was the classic floating islands, and I love floating islands. It's a dinosaur, nobody ever sees it anymore. It had classical creme anglaise, poached meringues, and a caramel cotton candy. I just really enjoyed the amount of guts it took to make such a dessert that people haven't seen in years, and the textures and flavors were something that I feel should stick around.
Our grand finale today was the dessert that we called Sunny Side Up Egg with Toast. We made a coconut meringue to showcase, again, how stable the duck egg whites are. We also made a pineapple curd, which we used to mimic the yolk of the egg. And then we made a biscotti, chocolate biscotti, which was definitely a stretch to get it done in 55 minutes, but it came out beautifully. And then we did a little cracked cocoa nib and some toasted coconut.
What I was looking for was, how does it compare with other places I've been, and how does it compare into the Buffalo scene? And I have to, looking for way above what I'm used to eating anywhere. So, and also their creativity and the technique were pretty key. Goetz's first and third courses were pretty phenomenal, just exposing you to ways that the egg performs. The idea of making like almost an egg drop soup was pretty phenomenal. And the idea of using it, both of them used it in a drink, but the drink was pretty clever. Adam's third course, his dessert was phenomenal. I mean, it's on the level of you get in a really, in a major city anywhere. That's a level of something you might encounter in France, or even London now has become a great food city, and that was on a level of a really sophisticated restaurant. It's very clever and beautifully executed.
During today's battle, basically I was looking for anything that set one guy apart, or any mistakes that were made with technique, or flavor components if something didn't work. Adam's approach was great. Very technical, very cerebral. Everything was spot on. Very well cooked, very well seasoned, and just very well presented. Lewis, I thought his approach was great. Not as much technique, but a lot of care. Not as creative, and I think that's where Adam scored his points, but everything was delicious and very well executed and well presented. The Floating Islands was great. It was a great interpretation of a classic that people have kind of lost. I was very happy that he brought it back and did it very well.
Chef Lewis did a fantastic job. He was like the ultimate comfort food version of doing these duck eggs. Really, it was the type of thing you'd want to kick back at home with, except with the kind of flourishes only a chef can add. Adam, as Adam does, Adam tends to take a little bit more of a fancy route. He managed to balance the natural flavors that these delicious eggs had with the inventiveness, creativity, and presentation that Adam is just famous for in Buffalo.
This competition wrapped up season 3 of Nickel City Chef, and for me, I think the only thing better than having the opportunity to watch these chefs work is to see the enthusiasm that we had in our audience. The entire season sold out so quickly. Each of the 4 events was a full house. Great enthusiasm, great support in our community, not only for the competition that we have here at Artisan Kitchens and Baths, but the idea of eating local and helping our community and doing the best we can, not only for our restaurant owners and our local chefs, but the artisan growers and food producers who are giving us some of the best, most wholesome, natural ingredients that we could get anywhere. It's just, I think, one of the best things about Nickel City Chef.